By the dawn of 1945, the Thousand-Year Reich was a dream in ruins. Allied forces from the west and the east began the final encirclement of Germany. In the west, American and British troops surged across the Rhine, breaking the last natural barrier protecting the German heartland under a cold, overcast sky. Meanwhile, the Soviet Red Army launched the Vistula-Oder offensive, a massive tidal wave of steel and men moving relentlessly toward the borders of the Reich. Animated maps of the period show the borders of the Third Reich shrinking rapidly, squeezed by the unstoppable momentum of the Allied and Soviet advances. The German civilian population, caught in the crossfire, fled westward in a desperate attempt to escape the advancing front lines through the freezing snow. By April, the focus of the world shifted to one final target: Berlin. The Soviet build-up along the Oder River signaled the beginning of the end. The battle for Berlin was a brutal, street-to-street struggle. Every corner became a fortress, and every ruin a hiding place for the city's defenders. Katyusha rockets, known as Stalin's organs, screamed through the air, turning the once grand capital of the Reich into a landscape of fire and ash. The Reichstag, the symbolic heart of German power, became the epicenter of the fighting. It stood charred and broken amidst the chaos of the final assault. As Soviet troops fought their way toward the city center, the Brandenburg Gate stood as a silent witness to the destruction of the old order. Deep beneath the carnage, in the claustrophobic confines of the Führerbunker, the Nazi leadership spent their final, desperate hours in complete isolation. The atmosphere was thick with paranoia and despair. Decisions were made in shadows as the sounds of Soviet shells vibrated through the reinforced concrete. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide, ending his reign of terror. His death left a vacuum of power and a city on the brink. The remnants of the government, led by Grand Admiral Dönitz in Flensburg, attempted to negotiate, but the Allies demanded nothing less than unconditional surrender. The end finally came in a schoolhouse in Reims, France. General Alfred Jodl sat before the Allied commanders to sign the instrument of surrender. With a few strokes of a pen, the war in Europe was officially over. The documents declared that all German forces would cease operations on May 8th. A second ceremony was held in Karlshorst, Berlin, to satisfy the Soviet Union. Field Marshal Keitel signed the surrender before Marshal Zhukov. As the guns fell silent, the true scale of the devastation became clear. Major cities across Germany, from Hamburg to Dresden, lay in ruins. The nation was divided into occupation zones. What followed was a period of reckoning, as the world moved to bring war criminals to justice. The fall of Nazi Germany marked the end of a dark chapter. It left behind a legacy of immense loss and a continent determined to rebuild from the ashes.